Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Sam. I'm the pastor here at Redemption House Church, Kingston, Tennessee. Just want to talk to you a little bit today about the rapture, the possibility of it coming this September. We are here at September. It's going into the first weekend of September, and of course, a lot of people are saying September 13th is a good day for an event to happen with either the church or Israel. And I'm not saying that the rapture is going to occur on the 13th or a day before or a day after, but there are several things I want you to be aware of. With the 4 blood moons and the 13th having a partial solar eclipse, we kind of get into that prophecy area where the blood moons, where the Bible talks about these signs will be around when Christ returns, and that's when the moon will be turned as blood. Of course, we know that's the red moon with the that is a sign. And then when the sun refuses to give its light, and of course we know that is a solar eclipse. So you have the blood moon and the solar eclipse happening right here, close together. We're in the preparing for the 4th blood moon, not too far out from us. And that's going to happen during the Feast of Tabernacles a few weeks away. But we got to talk about Jewish feasts to understand some of the prophecy and history of what's going on with the rapture. Now, Christ came nearly 2,000 years ago, and he walked the earth. He was crucified, he rose again, and then he ascended while alive into the heavens. So, excuse me. He told us that during that brief moment before ascension that he's coming back. If I go, I'm prepare a place and come back for you. Well, this is all part of the Jewish marriage tradition, the ancient Jewish marriage tradition. And if you'll take time to research that, you'll find out that Christ did everything, including the Father, which is in heaven, did everything by the order of the ancient Jewish wedding. And I'm not going to go into that today because that would just take up too much time, and I don't want to take a whole lot of time today. I just want to keep this video short and to the point about the rapture and what we can do to help others that are not going to be in it. Okay, let's take a hypothetical. The rapture happens very soon. I'm not going to throw a date on it, but let's just say very soon, within a matter of weeks or months. What can we as Christians do to help those that will be left behind? Okay, with all these prepper shows going out, you can buy prepper videos. You can buy books. You can buy some stuff from your local grocery store and set back. You know, I've been kicking around the idea of doing a rapture will, like a person would do before they die. And this will would be to my dear and close family members that have not accepted the Lord and are in rebellion to His plan of salvation. I have hope that they will turn to Him before it's too late, but I understand from reading the book of Revelations that there's going to be just a multitude that come to Christ during the 7-year tribulation. They'll have figured it out. Okay, my brother or my sister or my mom or my dad and my children that were Christians and were saved or innocent are gone. So this means that what they were telling me was true. And so now that truth is slapping me in the face, and I'm at the realization that I have 7 years left before Christ comes back and wipes out the Antichrist and wipes out the armies of the world that are in defiance of God, I got to get right. And not only will those people, most of them that have a history knowing about God but not knowing Him, having a knowledge about Him but not have a relationship with Him, those people there were going to make a relationship with God at that point in time, and they're going to be radically saved because they know that this is no longer a joke, and they're going to see things unfolding in the world that are saying your time is on a clock. It is running out. It is running down. So as they enter into the tribulation period and they start seeing these things, and ever so more as they recall what the preachers and the pastors and family members had told them, they're going to start going back and saying, you know what? They said this was happening. Here it is happening. The church is gone. We're having to meet underground. They're setting up a one world government, one world currency. They're wanting us to take this mark of the beast. All this stuff is happening. So we have to flee to the hills. We have to feed our families through alternative means because we don't want to take the mark. So this is what we can do as Christians. We can let our loved ones know that just have a rebellion to God and just have a stubbornness in their spirit that they're not going to turn their lives over to God until it's too late. Well, we can help them out by being a little prepper ourselves. And it doesn't take much. I mean, I think most of the Christians that turn to Christ in the tribulation, most of them will not make it through the middle of it. I think most of them will be killed. They will be martyred. The sinful men and women of the world will kill them for their beliefs, for their stubbornness at that point. See, those stubborn people will still be stubborn, but they'll have God that they're stubborn about at that point. They're going to probably be martyred. And that's what Revelations, John saw all these people around the throne. And he asked, who were these? And the angel told him, these are those that came out of the Great Tribulation. And he said that the number was more than he could count. They are vast. And so out of all those people that get saved during that tribulation, a good portion of them will be martyred before going too deep into it. Probably around the 3.5 to 4.5 year mark, most of them will be martyred already. So what we can do to help them survive during those first 3.5 years is we can start establishing little caches. I know some of you don't own guns, don't want guns, but I'm not asking you to go out and get bazookas. You can go to your local Walmart and buy a .22 rifle. And I mean, these are guns that most country boys and rednecks have trained up on since they were 7, 8, 9 years old, out plinking little targets or squirrels or even birds. I know some of you that'll drive you nuts. My wife just loves birds. But when I was a kid, I had a BB gun, and I graduated from that to a .22, and I really got accurate by killing birds. And I'm not advocating that. Now I love to watch them and everything like that, but as a kid, that was what we did. Now listen to me carefully. If you go buy a .22 rifle, it is still a weapon. It can kill another human. Okay, so if you're target practicing, getting proficient with that, great. But don't point it or shoot in the direction of another person. Okay, but 22 rounds are relatively small, inexpensive. You could get a .22 rifle at a pawn shop for $75 and get enough rounds. You could get 1,000 rounds of .22 ammo and a little cleaning kit and still be under the $200 mark. You can get 100 rounds for less than $10. Okay, so for less than $200, you could get a used .22 and you could get 1,000 rounds of ammo. And you know what? You can carry 1,000 rounds of ammo. One person can carry it in a backpack. It's not going to be that heavy. So it's going to make maybe 8 to 10 pounds depending on the carry type and how they're packaged and whether you got the long rifles or just shorts. But I prefer the long rifle. They got a little more zip to them. But you get that .22 rifle and you get those rounds, and that is a survival gun. You can take out anything from squirrels, coyotes, feral animals. Because keep in mind, if the church disappears, there's going to be a lot of animals that were once people's pets that are going to go feral. They're going to get wild because no one's feeding them. No one's taking care of them. So in the result, they're going to turn wild. They're going to turn to scavenging. And so some of these feral animals may be what your family will have for a meal in the absence of having nothing else. So the .22 is great for putting food on your table. So a .22, some canned goods, some ammo, and here's something. Get some iodine tablets or something like that. Maybe even a a $15 or $20 water purification system that will last for a while. These things will be just beyond any value you could put on them in a terrible situation. So I'm telling you now, you want to start prepping. Not for you. Come on. If you're a Christian and you're listening to this, the rapture is going to take you out of here. But this will be for your loved ones. And make a list. Make a list of what you've done for them, and set that list. Send it to them. Say, put it in your Bible. You probably won't read this until the day I'm gone, but put it in your Bible so you know that I've taken measures and steps to take care of you. Another thing of prepping is emergency blankets. You want emergency blankets. That helps. Tarps, lanyards, strings. Any way you can make fire, whether it be a flint tool, just a package of lighters. Those will eventually burn out, but hopefully in a scenario like that, they'll learn to make fire without having to have a lighter. But flints work good. Just some things like that won't take up much space, but your loved ones will have something when you're gone. This is kind of a sad video to make, because we don't want to think of our loved ones being left behind. But guess what? We ourselves had to choose to serve the Master, to accept Christ in our hearts, and for some of us that took a lot of time. We just didn't do it the first time we heard about Jesus, did we? We didn't just sit there and say, that's the first time I've heard about Jesus, I'm going to go ahead and accept him. For some of us it was a process, and some of us it was a very lengthy process. And some of us, we kind of tiptoed in it instead of jumping all the way. And we're still tiptoeing in. So some of us have not gone very far. So we can relate to those that are still out there on that edge, kind of resisting, because ourselves, most of us resisted to some point. I thank God that we didn't resist any further, and we're his now. But I just wanted to make this short video. It's only going to be about 13, 14 minutes long, to just give you some ideas. Remember the rapture will. Send it to your loved ones, those closest to you that you suspect may not make it. And when you do, tell them what you're doing for them. Tell them where they can find boxes of non-powdered milk, where they can find gallon jugs of water, where they can find the iodine tablets, where they can find the canned goods you've set aside for them, where they can find your .22 rifle and ammo. I advocate only 2 survival weapons, okay? Just 1 rifle and just 1 pistol. About 200 rounds for the pistol and about 1,000 rounds, if you can get it, for the rifle. And I'm not saying don't take a rifle that's, a 7mm or a 30-06 or 300 Win Mag. Those are not going to help you in a survival situation. You just can't pack the ammo. But you can kill the biggest of game with a well-placed .22 shot, okay? So you don't have to worry about carrying this bazooka rifle into the woods. Just simple .22 or even a 17. They're very, very efficient. Shoot straight, shoot flat, have very little problems. So there you have it. Let's do something for our relatives that may be left behind. Continue to pray for them that isn't the case. But if it is, we might have done something that can make life in the tribulation a little easier for them. And they'll know, once they receive those things that we set back for them, just how much we loved them, just how much we cared about them, and it will encourage and strengthen them that they can do this. This is Pastor Sam. Love you all. Those who watch, you feel free to leave a comment. Please don't get crazy with your comments. I'll just delete them. But if you have something constructive to say, I always read it. And I always pray for you if you need prayer. So you can look up our website, redemptionhousechurch.com. Or you can just leave me a message here on the YouTube page. God bless you, and may God grant you wisdom as you endeavor to leave something behind for those in the tribulation. God bless.